Let's talk about day 4 with our political panel. Former Republican Governor Scott Walker and former Democratic candidate for governor Mahlon Mitchell, who's president of the Professional Firefighters of Wisconsin and a DNC at-large member. Mahlon, polls show that Democrats are more motivated to vote against Donald Trump versus for Joe Biden. So tonight, do you think Biden made the case on why people should be voting for him?
I think he did, Charles. I mean, I think he knocked it out of the park, and I wouldn't just say that. He talked about being an American president, a president for all, even those who didn't vote for him. He talked about facts, not fiction, which we're dealing right now with fiction with our current president. But you look at Vice President Joe Biden, and obviously he was vice president under Barack Obama. He was a public defender very early in his career. He was a U.S. senator. He is one of the most qualified people to ever run for president. And he's the person that we need right now to actually bring people together, actually work on the ills of society right now so that we can get back to America that we all believe in. Because a lot of people don't believe that the American dream is there. So I think Joe Biden knocked it out of the park tonight.
Governor, the president is live tweeting, or was during the speech. Here's what he said in a tweet. In 47 years, Joe Biden did none of the things of which he now speaks. He will never change, just words. But part of the message tonight also from Joe Biden was describing what he says is a dark chapter in American life right now, and he's going to be an ally of light. Do you think people are looking for a different tone and tenor out of a president?
Well, I think there's no doubt about it that Joe Biden is a decent guy, and I think he actually gave a pretty good speech tonight. But remember, for more than 4 decades, Joe Biden's been a part of the Washington establishment. That establishment for decades has failed the American people. In fact, Bernie Sanders himself back in March criticized Joe Biden for once having stood on the floor of the United States Senate and talking about making cuts to Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. That's what Bernie Sanders said, not just the president said. So I think in the end, the real choice is, do you want someone who's firmly standing with the Washington establishment, or do you want someone who frightens that establishment and actually stands with the forgotten men and women of America, and that's Donald Trump.
How about someone who stands with science as what the Democrats are trying to make, and a lack of a national plan that he says the country needs?
Right.
Well, those scientists said we needed to flatten the curve, and they did just that. Those scientists talked about having a mask, and every state in America except for one has some sort of requirement for a mask out there. So when you look at the things that a president can legally do, the president is overwhelmingly doing those things, but he needs partners at the state and the local level. Unfortunately, people like Andrew Cuomo in New York has failed by putting a lot of those sick people right into nursing homes where thousands of people were infected and ultimately died. That's what we need to fix.
So, Mahlon, does this issue of the national play on the pandemic, will that help? How will that help Joe Biden?
Well, it's not even about helping Joe Biden. I mean, I think we all can agree, even Governor Walker can agree, that we'd love to have 50, 60,000 people coming to our state, spending money on our convention. But what Joe Biden is doing is following science, and he's leading by example as opposed to President Trump. We need a national standard on testing, tracing, and treatment, and we don't have that from our current president. So Joe Biden is leading by example, unlike our current president.
All right, Mahlon Mitchell and former Governor Scott Walker, thank you both for joining us all week.